Okay, so already on my YouTube channel there's 2 videos that I did a few years ago that are related just to how to start the guitar, what the strings are called, how to tune a guitar using a tuner, how to pick using a plectrum, so just holding the plectrum between your thumb and first finger. So if you haven't played guitar at all before, it might be worth checking that out. What I want to look at first of all though is using a scale. We're going to play a minor scale. Now I don't want to get bogged down with major and minor, what the difference between major and minor is at the moment. It's just we're going to look at this purely for the shape. It's the E minor pentatonic scale we're going to look at. The E pentatonic scale is the most widely used scale by most guitarists. You would know this scale, but also use this scale for improvisation, for making up their own solos, recording little riffs, those sort of things. Okay, so let's get straight to it. We're going to play, because it's the E minor pentatonic scale, we're going to start on our E string. And what we're going to do, with the plectrum between our thumb and first finger, doesn't matter if you've got an acoustic guitar, classical guitar, doesn't matter. So, we're going to hold the plectrum between our thumb and first finger, not showing too much of the plectrum. Just get used to playing that bass string. That's our E. That's what key we're in, we're in the key of E. Now, I'm going to come to the 3rd fret here for our next, this is our minor 3rd, but don't worry about the note names at the moment. We're going to go open on the bass string, to our fretting hand, put our finger just behind that fret. So behind the 3rd fret, generally if you've got an electric guitar, or a folk guitar, steel string acoustic, you'll have a dot. Sometimes on classical guitars, for starters, if you haven't got any dots, people would mark with a bit of Tipp-Ex on the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 2 dots on the 12th where the body of the guitar starts. So, we're going to go to open the 3rd fret. See what I'm doing here though as well? Not only am I putting my finger just behind that fret with reasonable amount of force, not so I'm pressing down so hard it's changing the pitch of the note, just enough so it sounds clean, so you're not getting any sort of fret buzz. I'm also using my 3rd finger. The reason I'm doing this, practicing now, is to try and incorporate using different fingers on the left hand, or the right hand if you're left-handed. It would just be the opposite way around. So we're going to open to the 3rd fret on the bass string. Plectrum hand, purely just doing down strokes with the plectrum, down, down. So we've got open 3 on the bass string. On our next string, which is the A string, we're going to go to open 2. So again, I've got open A, which is the 2nd thickest string, to the 2nd fret. Next string, which is the D, open 2. Next string, which is the G, which is our 3rd thinnest string, open 2. Onto the 2nd thinnest string, open to 3. And onto our thinnest string, open to 3. So our 3 biggest intervals, open to 3s, are on the thickest string, 2nd thinnest string, and thinnest string. The rest, so the A string, the D string, and the G, are open to 2s. So, open 3, next string A, open 2, next string D, open 2, next string G, open 2, next string B, open 3, next string E, which is our thinnest string, open 3. If you can practice that, it doesn't matter speed, just so it becomes fluent. And you notice because I'm using my 3rd and 2nd fingers there, I've got my 1st finger free. That's if we want to put a blues note in at some point, which we'll look at in the future. But we're not worried about that today. So, this is it ascending, so going up the scale. Speed doesn't matter, so if you play it dead slow. 2, open, 2, open, 2, open, 3, open. Just get used to how that scale sounds, but also how much the more you play that shape going up there, you'll get used to how much pressure to put down to get the string sound. Now, let's look at descending, so it'd be the opposite way. We're going to go start on the 3rd fret on the thinnest string, 3, open, 3, open, 2, open, 2, open, 2, open, 3, open. So that was 3rd, open, 3rd, open, 2, open, open, 2, open, 3rd, open. And then link the 2 up. And then okay, that was in the key of E. The reason we're in the key of E, because it's the E string And if you're unsure of the string names, look back at the videos we did before. I'll go through the string names there. So it's called an E pentatonic scale because it's got, like a pentagon's got 5 sides, it's got 5 notes before it starts again in octaves. Again, don't worry what octaves are, we'll look at that. But it's based around 5 notes. If you know a pentatonic scale is based around 5 key notes, and also we're starting in, the reason we call it E is because our starting note is an E. We're going to try an A now. So we're on the 5th fret on the bass string. So now we've got to incorporate different fingers going here because we're no longer relying on open strings. So again, we can use our first finger on the 5th fret, but now up to the 8th fret. It's exactly the same interval, a minor third. So 5th to 8th, it's still that same amount of frets. It's just now we're not using any open strings. So we're going to go 5 to 8, and see how here I'm using my little finger and first finger, so my pinky. The reason I've chosen that, again like we did before, if I want to add any of these extra notes in here, these fingers are ready to go. They're sort of hovering there ready. So 5, 8 on the bass string, on the E string, and we've got the smaller interval again, 5 to 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, bigger interval, 8, 5, 8. So exactly the same as in E, with the bigger gap, thinnest 2 strings, the B and the E string, the bigger gap again. And again with the plectrum hand, just doing all down strokes. See if you can practice that going up and down. And then a bit slower. If you're struggling with this as well, just go back to the 1 in E. Get used to just playing the frets. Again, what I'll do with all these videos is try to supply a PDF that you can download as well, so you can actually see how it looks in tablature. And again, if you can't read tablature or music, check out the first couple of lessons because I think I explain it in that. Okay, one other thing before I go, check out, once you get really familiar with these and you think this is a piece of cake, got this nailed, have a look at, go on YouTube, have a look at some drum beats. So perhaps write in drum pattern or drum rhythm 60 BPM. BPM stands for beats per minute, but 60 BPM. That will give you a drum beat, someone playing the beat. You can actually visually see them playing as well, which is good for practice timing. And just see if you can play it in E in time with the drummer. All down strokes, sorry. And if you got that in E nailed, try an A. And then see if 60 BPM, if that 60 is too slow for you, ratchet up a bit. Go to 70, perhaps 65 if that's too much. See, and over a few days, once you get used to that scale shape and practicing along with drums, I'm sure you'll be able to go in just faster and faster patterns and practice along with it. One other thing, quick thing, I did all down strokes, so my plectrum's going down, 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 down all the time. If you find that dead easy, try something called alternate picking. That's where the plectrum goes both ways. So 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, and again that's going down, up, down, up. If you want to practice that on its own, just do it on the bass string. Down, up, down, down. Some things that help with that, if you find, I do find that if I just show a smaller amount of the plectrum, because sometimes if you've got too much you can flap about there, tiny bit of the plectrum showing, resting my hand or my arm on the back of the guitar. You've actually got this section there on the guitar you can rest, and sometimes just resting on the bridge, on the trem, sorry, on the guitar itself. And once you've got that, try it on the A string. And then once you've got that, see if you can link it with the scale itself. So open, this is the E one, so open 3, which would be an up, sorry, open 3, down, up, down,